Okay, so I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the spin-off TV show Fear the Walking Dead. Now, Fear the Walking Dead is a spin-off companion series to the popular TV show The Walking Dead. If you want to know what I think of The Walking Dead, you can just go check out my video on my thoughts on The Walking Dead. So go check that out if you want to know what I think of that show. It's a good show, but if you want me to go more in depth, go check out that video. So I'm going to give my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead. So Fear the Walking Dead, as a show overall, it's a pretty good show. It's not better than the original Walking Dead, but it's a good show. So far, there's only been 2 seasons. Season 2 recently finished, and I thought the finales were pretty good for Season 2. So I'm going to discuss Season 1 and 2. So Season 1. Season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead was pretty good. It wasn't solid and amazing, but it was okay for what it was. There was some slow stuff in Season 1, but I enjoyed it. The stuff with Nick waking up, the stuff with Nick being a drug addict, the conflict with Nick, Madison, and Alicia. I like the stuff where Madison goes to the high school and deals with meeting, I think his name is Arthur, whatever his name is, becoming a zombie. The high school stuff, the stuff with Nick, the stuff with Travis, the stuff with Travis trying to meet up with his ex-wife Liza and Chris again, because there's some weird stuff happening, which is like, in Season 1, you basically get to see the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. So Season 1, for the most part, was pretty cool. The best parts of Season 1 were definitely, I like the military stuff. That's something that's really cool, is we get to see some military stuff. We get to see the military roll in and basically be in the show for a little bit. They do eventually get killed off because the military gets overrun by the zombies. Well, some of them do. But anyways, another good part of Season 1 is the finale. The finale is a badass episode, because Daniel is an awesome character, one of my favorites in this show. But anyways, in the finale is awesome. You basically get Daniel opening the stadium full of zombies, and they just come through and destroy this military compound, because these are, like, from what Andy said, one of the military soldiers that Daniel tortured, these are 2,000 zombies. So there's no way in hell these military soldiers are going to take 2,000 zombies, and considering that a member or a few of their military soldiers have already been wiped out, because in episode 5 you get to see Travis go with some military soldiers and they die, or some of them die. So yeah, so you have the zombies coming out of the stadium and just coming in and destroying the military. I really liked that episode. The finale was awesome. Travis, Daniel, the group going in to save Nick, because Nick was captured by the military. You get the group to meet Strand, which Strand is an awesome character. Strand's another favorite of mine, but the finale was really cool. I like the stuff with the military and the zombies, and basically with the stuff with Andy, and then Liza's death, which was pretty sad, because honestly, I feel like Liza shouldn't have died. To me, Liza is a lot fucking better than bitch-ass Madison. I don't like Madison. She's a stupid fucking character. I hate her character. You know, there's times where she isn't annoying, but she just isn't likable. I don't think her acting is good. I don't know, her character just doesn't work for me. But, you know, Liza's a pretty cool character. I feel like they should have killed off Madison and not Liza. Liza is a lot better. She's a lot cooler, and I really like Liza. She's just a lot better, and she's not bitchy. I don't know, she's just way better than Madison, but her death was sad at the end of Season 1. You gotta kill somebody, so her death added to some stuff. It made Chris a lot different, which we will talk about soon in Season 2. So overall, Season 1 was pretty good. I'd give it a 6 or a 7, because there is some slow stuff in Season 1, and there is some, you know, stupid shit in Season 1. Now, Season 2, to be honest with you, the first half of Season 2 I like a lot better than the second half of Season 2. The second half of Season 2 has amazing moments, but the first half of Season 2 is way fucking better. So the first half of Season 2, I really like it. You get to see the group go on this boat with Strand. You get to see him go on a boat. You get basically the first half, all these episodes are on a boat, and also some other locations. I really like the boat. The Abigail boat is a lot of fun. I think it's unique for The Walking Dead. The boat stuff is really interesting. I really like the boat stuff a lot in the first half. It's a lot of fun. Them on the boat is a lot of fun. I also like the one episode where they meet this family on an island, and it only lasts for one episode, but I actually like the episode. You know, it may not be that exciting, I guess, because there's talking and them meeting this other family. But I honestly enjoyed it. I honestly enjoyed Madison and Travis and them going to meet this new family. And I like what happened. The family ended up dying and shit. Shit was crazy. Although 2 members of the family are still alive, which I hope we do see them later on in the series. Maybe, I don't know. But I did like the stuff with the other family. I also like the stuff with Jack and the girl Alex. And I forgot, yeah, Connor, that's his name, Connor. So, what ties back to that is at the beginning of Season 2, Alicia's talking on this radio to somebody, which is stupid of her to do. She basically tells this random stranger everything, which is fucking stupid of her to do. But you know what? She's a teenager. You know, people make mistakes. Well, I shouldn't say mistakes, but you know what I mean. She fucked up. She fucked up heavily. So, you have that stuff, and then later on, Jack and his group actually come on his boat, and they use a pretty smart tactic that's a pretty good tactic. They basically bring a pregnant woman. She isn't really pregnant. Well, she is pregnant. Maybe, never mind. She is pregnant, but they bring this pregnant chick on the Abigail and ask for them help, and Chris says, should I shoot them? Because, you know, Chris was pretty cool in the first half of the season, because at the beginning, you get the girl, I think her name is Alex or Charlie. She basically shows up. You get the stuff where Daniel and Chris and Nick and Alicia go on this small island and look for supplies and stuff. Chris walks off on his own because Chris is kind of a little bitch in this season. Sort of, he can be pretty annoying. But what he does is he goes off by himself, goes in this plane, and finds this one guy. And this is brutal. This is brutal. He meets this one fat guy who is in this broken airplane, or beat up, crashed airplane, whatever. And his fucking back he's done for. His spine is like injured and it's brutal. So he tries to save him, but he can't. So Chris puts him out of his misery by killing him. So this is the first kill. This changes Chris as a character because he has to kill a first human being. So you see Chris kill this fat guy, and he was pretty much done for. His spine was broken. So you have that stuff. And then back to the group. They basically had a pregnant woman, and they used it to take over the Abigail. So, you know, that stuff is pretty crazy. And to be honest with you, I feel like the Jack, Connor, and all that stuff, I feel like it could have been extended. I feel like, you know, there was a lot of it, but it could have been a lot longer, you know, because, you know, it was cool, but I just feel like they rushed some things a little bit too much. Like, them going to Mexico and meeting up with Celia, I feel like they should have pushed that. That should have been pushed to the second half, in my opinion. That should have been pushed. Because the first half was good, but I feel like they should have pushed that back, because the first half was amazing, and I feel like the Jack and Connor stuff should have been longer. Like, you know, a lot of stuff happens with Jack and Connor. Like, they, with the Jack and Connor stuff, they attack the boat. They end up actually taking Alicia and Travis back to their compound, and the others are left there with one of the members. And they end up actually having to later on do a deal with Connor because Madison wants to get Alicia back and Travis back, and they do a deal because they actually have one of Jack's members. I don't remember his name. I think his name is Reed. Yeah, Reed. It's Reed. They take Reed, and they basically have this member of Connor's group, Reed, and you know, I think Chris stabs him. Yeah, Chris stabs him and gets him off guard, and they kidnap him, and they're gonna use him to do a trade with Connor. So the cool thing is, they basically, something happens to where Reed says some crazy shit to Chris. Chris ends up killing fucking Reed, you know, because Chris is a little crazy in the season since he lost his mom and killed that one guy in the airplane. But Chris ends up shooting Reed and fucking kills him. But he doesn't necessarily shoot him in the head, so Reed comes back as a zombie. And Daniel is awesome in this season with what he does. I really enjoyed Daniel. It's a shame he wasn't in the second half, and that really drags down the second half for me. I'll explain why. But Daniel, he comes up with this unique idea of using, even though he's a zombie, they can still use him as a trade. They can make it seem like he isn't a zombie by covering his face, and they can push him to Connor to act like they're trading and get him to distract Connor, which is a smart thing. So that's a trade they do. They basically do the trade. Madison goes, the Connor and 2 other guys, they give Travis. Madison gives him Reed, and Reed, they take his thing off, and Reed is a fucking zombie. He bites Connor's arm. Shit goes crazy. And while Madison is trying to untie Travis, you get Travis fucking headbutting this big guy coming after him. Pretty cool scene. I like this stuff with Jack and Connor. And then you have the stuff with Jack and Alicia, where Alicia wants to leave and Jack wants her to stay, and Alicia just ends up leaving because, you know, she'd rather be with her family. And, you know, Jack is still alive, but Connor is pretty much done for. And his group, I don't know if they're all dead, but Alex or Charlie, whatever the fuck her name is, and Jack and the pregnant lady, they're all still alive. So hopefully we'll see them back later on in this series. If we're not going to see them back, that'll be fucking stupid, simply because, you know, they were part of the story. And to touch on this real quick, there was a series called Flight 47, or I don't even remember what it was called, but it was a mini series for a character named Alex or Charlie, whatever her name was. There was a small series for her because she was going to join the main group in Fear the Walking Dead, and she only was in there for a few episodes, and that was fucking it. And that pissed me off because it was like, you made a whole series for this character, and then she's not even going to be in the rest of the damn series. What type of bullshit is that? So she better appear in Season 3 or the rest of the series. I'm going to be pissed because you wasted our damn time with that. So you better bring her back. Maybe turn her into a good guy or something, because she could be a good character. So the Jack and Connor stuff was cool. The first half of Season 2, solid. I like the stuff with the family. I like the stuff with Chris killing the guy in the airplane. I like the stuff with them with Jack and Connor. I like the idea of... I like the whole storyline of, can they trust Strand? Because at first they don't know if they can trust Strand. They don't know if they could, like, trust him. Because Strand does an asshole thing that I don't agree with. He basically... the girl, Alex, tries to get on the Abigail boat to get help with him, and Strand says no, but they end up actually hooking the boat to the Abigail, but he ends up cutting the fucking leash and letting her, just leaving her behind. So I don't really like what he did there. That was very shitty of him to do. Like, I understand this is the apocalypse and you can't help everybody, but that's a fucking just a girl and a burnt kid. Like, do you honestly think she's gonna hurt you? Like, you gotta be kidding me. No. So I don't really like what he did. I don't agree with it. But you have that. See, the first half of Season 2 was great. I really enjoyed it. The boat stuff, you know, all that stuff. The second half of Season 2 was really weak, and it wasn't as good as the first half. Let me tell you why. The big thing in the second half of Season 2 I fucking hate, and it's just so boring. It's the Nick, Lucy, and Lucina, or the fuck her name is, in the Colonial storyline. This storyline is fucking ass. I hate this storyline. It's so boring. So when Season 2, before I talk about the rest of Season 2, I actually want to talk about the last 2 or 3 episodes, the first half of Season 2. The stuff where you have Daniel meeting Celia, which you see Daniel light a lighter in front of zombies, and you think he dies, but we got confirmation that Daniel is going to return. So hopefully Daniel returns, because it would be stupid if they killed him off that early in Season 2. So the finale of Season 2 was pretty good. You know, you got the stuff with Celia, them meeting Celia, but I feel like it was rushed too much. That's my problem with Fear the Walking Dead. I feel like sometimes they rush things. Like the Jack and Connor stuff, it was probably the only extended stuff we had, but it was too short. It could have been way longer. Same with the Celia stuff. They should have pushed that in the second half. That way I didn't have to deal with so many episodes of that garbage-ass Nick and fucking Colonial storyline, because I hate that shit. But now to talk about the second half of Season 2. My main problem with the second half of Season 2 is the Nick and Colonial shit. Oh, I hate this storyline. So, what you have is Nick leaves his own family, which, you know, I used to like Nick, but after what he did, fuck him. I don't like him after what he did. What Nick basically did was, he left his family because they killed Celia. And to me, it's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This bitch Celia needed to die. She was having zombies locked up and feeding them animals and shit, and it's dangerous. She thinks zombies should be alive, and it's fucking dangerous, man. Because what if one of those zombies gets loose and starts killing people? You know, it's dangerous. You can't have that bullshit. So Nick is fucking stupid, you know, for even at first actually helping Celia. So it's stupid for Nick to leave his family. That shit was fucking dumb, because Nick leaves his family. And then you get this episode with Nick, which, oh, I hate that episode. Episode 8 and Episode 9 and Episode 10. Those episodes... Wait, let me rephrase. Episode 8 and 9 were really just terrible episodes. Episode 8, you had Nick by himself out in the wilderness. I hated that episode. It was really boring. I didn't really like it. It wasn't that interesting. It was just, I didn't like it. It was just boring. Not really exciting at all. a lot of it didn't make sense to me, where when Nick was with the zombies, they met up with this group who had like guns. It was like 3 or 2 dudes, and they fucking died, which doesn't make sense to me. They have a car, they have fucking guns, and they could just back up and shoot all of those zombies, but they die, and it's stupid to me. It doesn't make no sense. It's unrealistic. So that shit is really stupid. Episode 9, don't like that episode. You basically get the start of Nick and the Colonial stuff. I hate this fucking garbage shit. I don't like the Nick and Colonial stuff. I'm already not interested because of what Nick did, believing in his family. But the Colonial stuff just isn't interesting to me. The idea of Alejandro, this leader, giving this false idea to his people that he was bitten but survived and he's the true savior and all this shit. I don't like it. It's not interesting. It's not interesting at all. Alright? It's just garbage. It's boring. Lucy, I don't know her full name. I'm just going to call her Lucy. Lucy, that character, iffy for me. You know, she's not the worst character, but I just don't like her that much. She's just, at first when you see her, she's just this tough bitch. Like, she's just a tough bitch, thinks she's badass. I hate that shit. I hate those type of characters. So I don't like Lucy. She treats Nick like garbage, tries to act all tough. Shit is garbage. I hate the Nick and Colonial stuff. That's what really made me hate the second half of season 2. But yeah, now the hotel, the Madison, Strand, Alicia stuff and Ophelia stuff at the hotel, it's a lot better than the Nick and Colonial stuff. It's not my favorite from the second half of season 2, but it's a lot better. But episode 9, which I think that's the episode, you see them find out that Abigail is gone, and they find the hotel, which I understand they have to do some slow build up. But I hated that episode. It was really fucking stupid how Madison and Strand are drinking and causing a bunch of noise just to bring zombies in to get something going. The stuff with Alicia and Ophelia was okay, but I didn't really like that episode. The Nick Colonial stuff, and then that shit was just boring. So, you know, episode 9, the hotel stuff was a lot better than the Colonial fucking storyline, but the Madison and Strand stuff was a lot better, but it wasn't that enjoyable. So, already episode 8 and 9, weak episodes to start from the second half, so already bad impressions. Episode 10, however, episode 10 was fucking awesome, was fucking lit. It was awesome. We got to finally see, because in the finale of season 2, the mid-season finale, you got a bunch of groups that split off after the Celia place is destroyed. You have Chris and Travis on their own, Nick on his own, and then you have Madison, Strand, and Ophelia and them on their own. So you have the Chris and Travis stuff. This is the best stuff. This is the best part of the second half of season 2. If we would have got more of this, I wouldn't be so harsh in the second half of season 2. But we did not get enough of the Chris and Travis stuff. The Chris and Travis stuff is the most interesting stuff of this season. I like the story between this father and son, you know. The son having different outlooks and different ways in the apocalypse, while his father don't agree with certain things. Like, when when they go to some farm, they actually meet some group, Brandon and the rest. Those guys are fucking pieces of shit douchebags. But Chris actually steals from him, but saves them, and they actually meet each other. So Chris meets up with this new group, and they actually go to this like farm type area in this episode, and they start messing around with this farm, and they start messing around in this barn with these chickens, and they end up messing around with it, and the owner shows up with a gun, and I really don't agree with what Chris did here. Yes, the guy with the gun, he was aiming at him, but Travis was saying that, you know, this is his land. We should respect this. We shouldn't do this nonsense. And I agreed with him. You know, this is his land. The guy wasn't even gonna kill all of you. He was just asking you to leave and all that shit. And you know, the one guy in the group, I think his name was, I don't know if it was Derek, one of the members. He broke a chicken leg, and he got shot. It's like, what the fuck did you expect? You come on his fucking homeland, you take one of his chickens, you break his leg, and your bitch ass gets shot. It's like, what do you expect? You get shot by the homeowner, and then Chris tries to say, I had no choice but to shoot him because he shot one of my guys. Get the fuck out of here, Chris. That motherfucker fucking messed with his property, so of course he was gonna get shot. Fucking broke the chicken leg and shit, so Chris killed him. I don't agree with what Chris did. Chris was really stupid in the second half for what he was doing. He was basically turning against his father, not agreeing with him, going with this new group, thinking he's gonna be fine, all this shit. So the Chris and Travis stuff is really interesting. I like it a lot. The rest of the episodes in the second half, they're okay, but, you know, they're not that fantastic. They're just fucking boring. The hotel stuff gets better, But the Nick and Colonial stuff, I hate. I absolutely hate it a lot, and it's just boring to me. I don't really find it interesting. So that stuff really drags on the second half for me. You get more Chris and Travis stuff near the end, which is cool. I'm glad you get more Chris and Travis stuff. Basically, near the end, you get like, you see, you only get 2 episodes with Chris and Travis, and that's a huge issue. But anyways, the second episode of Chris and Travis, at the beginning of it, Travis actually goes back to the hotel, not goes back, but actually goes to the hotel and reunites with Madison, because Madison turned on the hotel lights to see if she can signal somebody, like Madison or Nick, because she actually found out Nick was alive or something from some other episode. But Travis goes to the hotel and reunites with Madison, and Travis tells Madison what happened to Chris. So in this episode, you find out what happened with Chris. So you have some more Chris and Travis stuff. Solid episode. One of the better episodes of the second half. You basically have more of the stuff at the small farm type area with Chris and Travis. You have Travis trying to tell Chris that, you know, why don't you feel any pain or remorse for killing the guy? And Chris says he doesn't. Chris thinks he's like right, and that he's, you know, he's fine with this new group. And you get some conflict with Travis in this group that Chris is with, and I like it a lot. It's really cool. The new group Chris is with does some stupid shit. One of their friends got shot in the last episode, and Travis is trying to fix him up. And, you know, he can get healed up. He's fine. And the fucking Brandon fucking kills him, and it's stupid as fuck. It's like, dude, you can't wait at this farm to wait for your friend to get revived. You just want to shoot him. It's fucking dumb. The group that Chris is with, they're fucking stupid as fuck. They don't know what they're doing. They're just noobs in this apocalypse, killing their friend when he would be fine if they would just wait a while for him to heal up. Fucking dumb. Travis tries to help him. They make terrible choices, because actually the only reason they were able to kill him is because Chris tricked Travis. They basically had, Chris came in, Chris and Travis had a talk, and Chris ended up like taking Travis to the ground and then telling the group to come in, and that's some dirty shit. He fucking, you know, he fucking went against his father and betrayed him. That shit's fucked up. So you have that stuff, and then you have Chris, Brandon, and them leaving Travis behind. Travis doesn't want to go with him, so you have Chris and the gang leaving Travis behind, and shit's fucked up. It's like, wow, you're gonna leave your father behind and go with this new group that you think is your family? When in the back of my mind, I was right about this prediction, but what I thought was, Chris is gonna die. What I thought was like, this is what I thought. I was like, Brandon and Derek, as soon as they have the opportunity to leave Chris behind, or they have to, they will. They don't give a shit about him. And I was right. I was fucking right. Because after that episode, in the next episode, which is episode like 14 and 15, which is the 2 finales, you find out that like Brandon and Derek come back to the hotel, and Travis meets up with them. And, oh, this scene is awesome. This scene is fucking badass. It's another good part of the second half of season 2. Anyways, Travis finds Brandon and Derek at the hotel, and he goes and talks to him in a room, and he's trying to ask him what the hell happened to Chris. Where is Chris? And they basically tell him that Chris took over for driving the truck, and Chris fucking crashed the truck and ending up having a bad leg injury. And you get the death of Chris, which, as much as I think Chris was stupid at times and he was a piece of shit for betraying his father and stuff, this death was sad. It was honestly sad, but my prediction was right. Brandon and Derek, when they got the chance, they left Chris behind. I knew they would do that. They were just those type of people. So, you know, Chris was crawling out of the crashed truck. He had a fucked up leg. Brandon shot him. He got fucking shot by Brandon. And to me, that situation would have been much better handled. All you had to do was either find a way to get fixed. You could have fixed Chris's leg, or you could have carried him to the hotel or something like that. They didn't have to kill Chris. So they were pieces of shit for that. So after Travis finds out that these motherfuckers killed Chris, he goes Rick Grimes, pretty much Rick Grimes / Shane Walsh on both of these assholes. So he locks the door so Madison and the others can't stop him. He goes beast mode. He beats the shit out of Derek and Brandon until they die. And I love that scene. He goes crazy. He beats the hell out of both of them. Goes fucking nuts. Beats the shit out of them until they die. Of course, he does try to get stopped. I think his name is Oscar. He tries to come in the room. Fucking Travis hits the door on Oscar. Kills Oscar. He didn't mean to, but it's like, dude, this guy, Travis, is in fucking rage. He's mad, and you can't get involved in this shit. And what pisses me off is, once he kills these kids, the hotel is mad at him. And it's like, dude, these motherfuckers killed his kid. What the fuck do you expect him to do? His son died, you know? It is fucked up that Travis killed Oscar, but it's Oscar's fault. Don't try to get involved with this nonsense. Let Travis do this, alright? That's all. Oscar shouldn't have gotten involved. Oscar made a huge mistake doing that. So Oscar came to the door, Travis slammed it on him, and then relocked it. So it was pretty brutal that Oscar died in the process. But I really liked that episode, especially when Travis beat the shit out of both of those guys, taught them a lesson, beat the crap out of them. The next finale was pretty cool. We got to see what the hotel thought of the situation. The hotel turns against them, all that shit. One thing I don't like is that Strand stays behind. I think that's really stupid for Strand to stay behind and stay with the hotel. Fucking dumb. You should have went with Madison, Travis, and Alicia. I'm tired of these groups splitting up. You need to come together. So it's a shame of that. So the rest of the stuff in the second half of Season 2, you got more hotel stuff. You got more Colonial and Nick stuff, which I won't really talk about because I don't really like the Nick and Colonial stuff. I think it's fucking stupid, retarded, and not even that interesting. So you know, the other stuff you have in the second half of Season 2 is the Colonial, Nick trying to get the people out of the Colonial because these guys from the pharmacy are going to attack or something. So, you know, I don't really care. It's not really interesting. I'm just going to touch on it real quick because there's something that I thought was so fucking stupid, so fucking dumb, that doesn't make sense to me at all. What that basically is when Nick gets the people to leave from the Colonial, the guys come in and attack the Colonial, and they get through the zombies, and the only person there is Alejandro, because he's infected, because he actually got bitten a few episodes ago. So the only one there is Alejandro. He ends up trying to sneak past them, goes in the bus, drives the bus out, and gets the zombies to come in the Colonial, like come in more, come in deeper, to wipe out these guys. Now what I find fucking stupid is, these motherfuckers die, and I'm like, how? You guys are supplied with M16s, shotguns. These guys were packed and loaded with guns. How the fuck are these guys dead? It doesn't make sense to me. It's like The Walking Dead Season 3. Rick and his gang only had melee weapons. They were able to take out prison zombies. But these guys with guns in numbers, they die? That shit is stupid to me, and it's retarded. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna die and fail against these zombies? Just back up and shoot these motherfuckers. You got guns. How do you die? It doesn't make sense to me. It's just really stupid. But yeah, that basically what happened in the second half of Season 2. You get these army soldiers from the border basically fucking attacking Nick and them. You get Ophelia. The stuff with Ophelia was pretty cool. She gets like kidnapped by this guy that I thought was Daniel, but wasn't Daniel. So you get that stuff. So overall, I think Fear the Walking Dead is a pretty good show. It's got a lot of bad episodes, a lot of problems, a lot of characters I don't like, but it's a good show. The best season, it's Season 2. You know, I don't really like the second half that much because of the Nick and Colonial stuff. That shit was trash. The first half of Season 2 was good. Season 1 was pretty decent. My favorite characters in Fear the Walking Dead are Travis, Strand, and Daniel. I love those characters. I like Travis because he's a cool father. He's very smart. I like seeing his adaptation and becoming ruthless by beating those guys up. I like the stuff they did with Travis and Chris. I really like that. I like Strand because he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's ready for this apocalypse. I like the stuff with him on the boat, owning Abigail, being ruthless, even though I didn't agree with what he did with Alex. I also like Daniel because Daniel is awesome. He's a smart old guy. Daniel knows what the fuck he's doing. He's tough. He's down to fucking business. Always carries guns in Season 2. Tortures an army guy because he knows what the fuck is going to happen with these army soldiers. His flashback was pretty cool as well, where you get to see Daniel as a kid. He was forced to kill somebody. So Daniel was an awesome character as well. I really like him. He was really tough, really smart, really survivor worthy. The episodes are great. I like the stuff with him. I like what he did in the finale with unleashing the zombies against the military. So those are my three favorite characters: Travis, Strand, and Daniel. So overall, I think Fear the Walking Dead is a pretty good show. I probably rambled on as long as I did about The Walking Dead in this show. So it's only had 2 seasons, but overall I think it's been a pretty good show. So let me know what you think of Fear the Walking Dead.